All right, good afternoon, everyone. This is the Resource Roundup with me, Reyes. If you have been here before, welcome back. I hope you've been well. If you haven't been here before, this is the Resource Roundup, where in pretty much 15 minutes, you're going to get caught up on all the great opportunities that I've researched and found. Namely, things that if I wouldn't apply to them, then I wouldn't give to you. So all the opportunities that I present here on the Resource Roundup are stuff that if I qualified for them or if I had time for them, I would apply to them, and some I do apply to. So this stuff is good. So Fresh Arts is a nonprofit arts organization based primarily out of Houston, Texas, but through channels such as this, our expansion of who we reach is clear. And so today we're going to go through some resources, we're going to go through some deadlines, and hopefully you get them. You apply for them and you get all the things you apply to. So the first thing I'm going to do is I want to talk about what we're doing and what's coming up on our end, and that is the Fresh Arts Podcast Season 2. Season 1, if you haven't checked it out yet, listen to that first to get an idea of what we're looking for, because we are having an open call for Season 2, where if you have a question in the form of should I or shouldn't I, because this is a podcast focused on helping artists come to different answers or come to their own answers to very, very complex questions. So remember in Season 1, there was stuff like, should I or shouldn't I move to another city for its art scene? And so Season 2, we're looking for you to provide us an episode, a viewer submitted episode that we can answer, hopefully, or get rather to an answer, though not the answer. And so just as long as it's in the should I or shouldn't I format, we'll take it. All right. So just let us know, submit. The form is right there. But again, if you haven't listened to Season 1, check it out, get a good idea of what we're looking for. And so the next thing I want to get to is obviously the deadlines. So there's quite a bit of stuff. So I'm going to kind of go through it quickly, but hopefully with enough information for you to get started. And so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and show you those deadlines. All right. So as always, you're more than welcome to come to our opportunity board. To reach that, you just go to Succeed as an Artist. And under that tab, go to Artist Opportunity Board, and you will be right here. And so you can see all the opportunities that I research and I find. And again, like I said, if I wouldn't apply to these things, then I wouldn't give it to you. So that's really the philosophy that I try to follow. So anything that's like costs like $1,000 to attend, I do not put that on here. If it's an open call and they charge you $20 to enter, but all you win is a certificate or something just to be featured, then I usually don't provide those. I provide usually opportunities that, you may pay a nominal fee or they're usually free. But if you do pay a nominal fee, the return on that investment is I don't know, threefold, fivefold. And so all you really have to dedicate to these things is your time and your words and whatever they ask for. So as always, you're welcome to check out these opportunities at any time. I'm not going to mention all of them because there's so many. So the first thing I'm going to mention is the Printing Museum Artist Residencies for fall 2021. This is due today. And I usually don't talk about things that are like due the day of, but this application is actually fairly simple. All you need is your artist resume, an artist statement or bio, and a project proposal and 5 image samples. So if this is your, artist resumes and your statement and bio should just be things you have. A project proposal, I think you could do that in a day if you really cared about this opportunity. And what is this opportunity? The Printing Museum here in Houston, Texas is looking for a resident. And so what you get is you get $500 of material stipend. You get private tutorial scholarship for $420. You get a studio membership for $510. You get access to all their facilities like our letterpress, papermaking, bookbinding studios, and you get an exhibition opportunity. So again, if this is your thing, then I think you could probably do this in a day. But again, for stuff like this, I normally wouldn't feature it on the Resource Roundup, but again, it's a fairly simple application. And if this is your bag, then it should be pretty simple to apply to. It's free. And it's due today. And as always, you can check out our Artist Opportunity Board or subscribe to the newsletter, to Artist Resource Newsletter, to get these notifications sooner. But just so you know. The next thing, this is the hashtag Black Design Visionaries Aspiring Designer and Small Business Grants. This is due tomorrow. But again, the application is fairly simple. For this one, I think you just have to submit. It's in the call itself, but it's a fairly simple application. Remember that being true. And you just the eligibility is that it's any Black identifying applicant, must be a legal resident, you must be an active user of Instagram, and you can either apply for, if you're a small business, that small business must be predominantly Black led, must be the Black identifying leader of that business, all that good stuff. And what you get essentially is 10 grand. You're going to award 3 $10,000 grants to aspiring Black designers between the ages of 18 and 30, as well as $100,000 grant to a small Black-led design business. So, pretty good deal. And it's free to apply to. It's due tomorrow. This is for designers in art that I am not good at, but hopefully you will be. So again, due tomorrow is B Space Art House, open call for artists. This is in New Braunfels, Texas. They're kind of working with an interesting art space, which is an old house. And if you've ever been to kind of New Braunfels, I think some watching those or seeing those photos, it's a really interesting space. And so it's no entry fee. You can do a group show, you can do an individual show, but just fill that out. It's free to apply. Check that out if you want to feature your art in a new context that maybe you haven't thought about before, like an old house. So check it out. Up next, we have the Idea Fund Round 15 paid internship. They're looking for someone to help administer the Idea Fund, which is a re-granting program composed of diverse works or picture show and Project Row Houses, all Houston-based organizations, and it's funded by the Andy Warhol Foundation for the Visual Arts. And so they're looking for someone to help administer that program. It's $15 an hour, between 6 to 10 hours a week, and it's from August to March 2022. So that's due tomorrow by midnight. Up next, due on July 18th on Sunday, it is the City of Baytown Promise Center mural. They're looking for proposals for an original mural on the side of their Promise Center in Baytown. Baytown is kind of north of Houston, I believe, so not too far away. This one, you can look at the specifications of how much they're going to grant you, but again, like pretty good deal. It's a community not too far away. It's free to apply, and so if you're itching to make that mural, here's your chance to kind of go into a new audience if you're a Houston artist. So check that out. It is due Sunday, and it is free to apply. And again, we have the Printing Museum. They are looking for instructors. So they're looking to hire some instructors to teach classes, more for craft kind of classes. And so just to give you an idea, they have wood and metal type collection for Vandercook presses. I do not know what that is. So if you do, you're probably already qualified, more qualified than me. 4 show card presses, a large format etching press, all that good stuff. So if you're like working with paper and printing and maybe even zines and stuff, all that cool stuff, check out this opportunity. They're looking for instructors. This is due Thursday, July 29th. And for the next two, we have Houston Arts Alliance. They are opening up they have 2 grants open. The first is the city's initiative grant. This is a really, really cool one. This is one that typically awards between $5,000 and $10,000. And so that's a pretty good chunk of change to put on a program with HAA funds. And so these projects just have to engage visitors and residents while building upon Houston's cultural identity and tourism. Proposed activities should not be a part of the applicant's regular programming or annual schedule of events or activities. So again, if you're an individual artist, or if you are working with a group, or if you're fiscally sponsored, or you actually have a 501c3 yourself, you qualify for this program as long as it fits the idea of creative opportunities to engage visitors and residents in Houston. So check that out, up to 10 grand. But again, if you're hearing about this, you want to schedule that meeting to meet with them, because if you want anything that's 10 grand or above, you have to meet with them first. So as soon as you hear this, schedule that meeting with them. And then up next, we have their other grant, another one of their grants, Let Creativity Happen grant. It's a really good starter grant. If you've never applied for a grant or never gotten one, this is a really good place to start. I appreciate it's only $2,500, but I appreciate the experimental nature of it, that it's low risk and low reward. Well, relatively low, but again, like $2,500 for a specific project, that's a pretty good deal. It's free to apply. It's fairly simple to apply to. If it's a start, if you haven't done one before, this is a great place to start. And the cool thing is that all projects must use digital technology to engage audiences. So not totally something that you have to do in person, but they are still emphasizing that digital aspect from the pandemic. And so this is due at the end of the month, July 30th, $2,500. It's free, and it's city money. It's our money. So go for it. Go for it. LSC Sci-Fair, they have a gallery. They're doing an open call to fill that gallery with either local, regional, national, and international emerging and established artists and curators. And so Lone Star College, great place to learn. And so the really interesting part of this opportunity is if you're looking to pitch something, usually each gallery will have a different purpose, whether it be just to engage the public or to sell artwork. But this interesting one is, what's interesting about this one is that Lone Star College Sci-Fair is a teaching gallery whose primary mission is to provide exhibitions which support and enrich college curriculum, events, and programs. So I think that'll be an interesting context to put your work in if you haven't done it before, is how your work is taught and how do you kind of maybe make that part of your practice. How do you get your work taught? How are you taught to the next generation? And so I think this is a really cool opportunity for that. It's free to apply. They don't really give you an honorarium or anything like that, but it is an interesting opportunity to do. And it's not too far away from Houston, from kind of deeper Houston. So check it out. This is the next thing is the Tucson Tack Foundation. They have a residency program. This is due August 1st. There is a $25 non-refundable application fee, which again, may be too much for some artists, and that's okay. But also consider the kind of the investment. But if you get it, the reward is you get an honorarium of $625 a week. You get housing. You get 24/7 access to studios and a library. You have the ability to get a professional documentation of your works, which again is very expensive in and of itself to have a professional photographer take pictures of your stuff. And they provide that as part of the residency. It's a lot of cool stuff is what I'm saying for that $25 if you get it. So, and again, if you spend those $25, this technically counts as career development. You can write it off on your taxes, just saying. So if you're going to do it, get as much as you can out of that $25. And so check this out. This is due August 1st. And the final opportunity deadline that I want to mention is the Halstead Grant. This is due August 1st. This is primarily for crafting artists who are working in jewelry making. And this cool, interesting grant is that it gives you $7,500 in startup capital and $1,000 in merchandise to kind of hone your craft and to make jewelry. So I think it's a really interesting program. I'm not a jewelry maker, but if you are, this sounds like an awesome opportunity. Again, this is due August 1st, Sunday. Ooh, all right. And so that's for the deadlines, for opportunities, for money, for grants, all that good stuff. And I just kind of want to make a quick shout out to our resource library. So again, I mentioned earlier, maybe like you haven't applied to things before, or if you have and you're looking to streamline your process, then we have those tools for you. So just check out our resource library, and we actually have downloadable toolkits where we walk you through these process of how do you even start a grant proposal, how do you even do a budget for a grant, and we even have one for artist biographies and statements. So if you don't have those things, we got a place to get you started. If you do have those things and you're trying to clean it up or go with write a new one since your career maybe has changed from when you last wrote it, definitely check those out. I'm just going to share that real quick on my screen to show you how you get there. So if you go to Succeed as an Artist and go to downloadable toolkits right there, you just go in here and you can download project budgeting tips and templates, intro to grant proposal writing, how to write an artist statement and bio, and this, if you're up for it, goal setting tools for creatives. And so all you have to do is download, provide an email and a zip code, and you're good to go. And there you have it. Thank you so much for tuning in. That's about 16 minutes. Again, not bad to be caught up on a great load of things to apply to. And so anyways, that's been the Resource Roundup with me, Reyes. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.